You know who should be a Hall of Famer? Big Papi, David Ortiz. Let's start with the issue of steroids when we talk about David Ortiz's Hall of Fame case, because that's really the only reason he wouldn't garner at least 75% of the vote. David Ortiz's only connection to possible steroids came in 2003 when the New York Times leaked a list of names that supposedly failed a voluntary drug test. Names were meant to be kept anonymous, and we still don't know for sure what he actually tested positive for. He was not on the Mitchell report in 2007. He was not a part of the Balco scandal in 2003. So we can't actually ever prove he took steroids. He didn't fail a test. At least, not voluntary and not anonymous. But let's get to the goods. David Ortiz is one of the clutchest players in MLB history. He's a 3-time champion. He's a World Series MVP, an ALCS MVP, which is too many go-ahead or walk-off home runs to count. He is a 10-time All-Star. He finished top 5 in MVP voting 5 times as a DH. He surpassed the 500 home run threshold with 542 and stands with an incredible career slash line of 286, 380, and a 552 slugging percentage. He's one of the greatest hitters of the 21st century, and it would be criminal to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. That's my point.
Good point, Peter.
It's my opinion on it. He and Sammy Sosa, it's funny. There's such a difference in the way that they're compared in the steroid era, because from my research, it doesn't seem like Sammy Sosa actually ever failed something that wasn't voluntary. Like, he didn't say, A-Rod failed, Braun failed. Like, these guys didn't fail. They were just caught up in it. And did Sammy Sosa probably take steroids?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, totally. But there's other guys already in the Hall of Fame that have done steroids. Like, you think Pudge did steroids?
Yes.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Look at his frame. Look at his frame as his career progressed.
David Ortiz has the least, he's so well liked, which is important with the writers. We don't think it's important, but how you are with the media, they remember. And especially his post-playing career days, he's just such a well-liked personality. And even as a Yankee fan, David Ortiz, I have the utmost respect. Probably the Red Sox I respect the most that I've ever watched. He was the definition of clutch.
I could watch Papi saying, "This is our fucking city," on loop. I could watch him saying that on loop. I mean, that was amazing.
One of my favorite Sports Center commercials was when he puts on the Yankee hat and then he sees the Red Sox mascot walk by, and he's like, "Wally, it's not what it means." I really do love him.
Yeah, he was always this larger than life character. And, every flaw that Manny Ramirez had on the playing field or off the playing field, right? Papi kind of made up for it with the smile. I mean, Papi, it's crazy to see that big of a man that hits a ball that hard be so jovial and well-liked.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. That's a native of the Dominican Republic who a lot of people would say "Oh yeah, you're from Boston." That's what Papi
Literally.
is.
Yeah.
David Ortiz is the peak Bostonian, and he does not sound like a Bostonian whatsoever. I'll never forget at the tail end of Papi's career, because his last year, the way he went out was absolutely stupidly insane. I mean, Papi, as a 40-year-old, finished 6th in MVP voting, and I mean, he led Major League Baseball in OPS. He had a 1,000 OPS as a 40-year-old. This guy, I was at one of his games at Fenway that year, and he walked up to "Fuck With Me, You Know I Got It" by Rick Ross. And they didn't bleep out the F word. They just let it roll at Fenway. And I was like, what's going on here? But that's what Papi was. Papi just earned that. He could listen to whatever song he wanted walking up to the plate. I mean, he gets my vote 11 times out of 10. He was just
gets my vote 100%.
Right. He was larger than life. And you think about the security guard putting his hands up in the opposing bullpen when he hits that bomb in the ALCS. Like, there are moments here where, you look at the Hall of Fame and you say you need moments. Yes, you need the career accolades. He's got the career accolades. You also need the moments. And we will see you later tonight is a moment. Security guard throwing his hands up is a moment. His speech after the Boston Marathon bombing is a moment. Like, you've got all of this stuff. I mean, he gets my vote every time.
It's funny too. I was just looking at his stats in that last year. 86 extra base hits.
Yeah.
40-year-old hit 315, 48 doubles, 38 home runs.
He was like Tom Brady in Tom Brady's city.
Legend. I mean, just a legend. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, 10 of his last 13 seasons, he had at least 30 bombs. 41, 47, 54, 35, 30. I mean, legend.